All right, welcome to Stand Up and Water-cooler talk. It's me, Raj, and Fede. We're going to talk about what we did, what we're going to do, and what's blocking us, and then talk about whatever's on our mind. Fede, you want to start?
Sure. So today I merged my pull request for tracking the API requests. And now I'm going to work on allowing the users to sign in with Slack. So they don't need to find their organization ID. So less friction there. And then I will continue with the whole things we need to do for the new tiers.
All right, great. See, on my end, I worked a little more on the book. Um, some of these like descriptions are hard to make happen for the pages I'm trying to generate. So uh, I'll keep working on that, and then keep trying to do some more affiliate marketing, see if we generate some revenue there. We posted our video about feeding kids last, so we did on Saturday. I don't know if we got any traction or not. Let me check real quick. Um, yeah, I don't know if it did or not. I have to go and check. Still getting likes and stuff on the first one, but not necessarily on the last one. And that's about it. So we'll just keep trucking along. Oh, and then I'm also like signing up for user interviews. They offer like a good amount of money for like what is it called? Like surveys and stuff. So there's like
Yeah.
userinterview.com, you can surveys and stuff. So trying that also to make a quick buck. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. Let's see here. What's in the news? Anything on your end that you've seen of interest?
Now I watch a few Black Mirror episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Not impressed.
Not worth it so far. Yeah.
No, they ran out of good ideas, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with them. I don't know. Everyone loved the one with Aaron Paul, but for me it was
No.
just too boring. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna watch it then. Um, let's see here. I did see the. I'm gonna go try seeing the new Daredevil movie. Have you seen the?
Oh, I didn't know
Is that
there
gonna be
was a new
released in
movie.
Argentina? Yeah, that one's got like Batman, Superman, Daredevil, and they
Oh, nice.
travel like dimensions or universes or whatever. So I
I
think
loved
maybe
the TV show. I think it was from Netflix. It was really good.
I saw a few episodes. Yeah, the Spider-Man movie was really good. The
Yeah.
multi Spider-Verse one. So we'll see if Daredevil can um, compete with Spider-Man. Different universes. I know. I know. Let's see. Are some articles that I read. Advanced robotics and AI set to revolutionize surgery, changing the roles of surgeons, which I think we have the technology already and the data to do it. Companies like Intuitive Surgical, they've already collected a lot of surgery data, so they could probably already automate the process. But when you talk to their leadership, they're very much against automating away the surgeon. So engineers are developing advanced robotics to herald another new era for surgery, and this time the surgeon's role in the operating theater may change altogether. Robots have revolutionized the practice of surgery since their introduction in 2001. The most prolific device is Da Vinci, is used in 1.5 million operations every year, according to its California-based manufacturing Intuitive Surgical. Now combined with AI and novel technology, engineers are developing advanced robotics to pretty much remove the surgeon altogether. So, or maybe have them as a backup or just a viewer to make sure things don't go wrong. That I think is going to be the future, where the robot just patches you up and you're good to go. You won't need these expensive surgeons anymore. We've
Right.
taken
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So why? So you would think the price of surgery would go down, but I bet you it's going to be more expensive. Even though you got rid of all the expensive people doing all the work, they're gonna make it more expensive because they'll be like, well, we have to pay for the technology,
Yeah, it's
and
safer. Yeah, it's like
yeah, it's AI is supposed to make things cheaper, right, and make things more affordable. And if anything, we should have more competition.
yeah, we
The
shouldn't need surgery in the first place, right?
Yeah, I
So,
mean, we talk about it. We don't address the root problem. Sometimes you need surgery. Let's say you mess up your knee and you need to get your knee fixed
yeah,
or whatever. But like the cancers and stuff should never have happened in the first place. It's just that we're poisoning ourselves, and we gladly do it. I went and ate at a restaurant yesterday, and I'm already like, oh, why'd I do that? Um, Firstly, if you know how to cook, you can probably make food better than the restaurant at home, right?
yeah,
The only downside is all the dishes and the cleaning.
yeah. I hate that. Yeah, I
The
love
fun part
cooking. I
is,
hate like the after. It's like,
yeah,
oh
you got to
no.
pay the price, and the price
Yeah.
is you got to do some cleaning. I paid for it when I chopped off my
Right. Yeah.
thumb, so I have a divot in my thumb now, which will probably be there forever.
Oh,
So, but that's how it is. Let's see your other articles. That was an interesting one. That it seems like the intuitive surgical, which used to be um, I don't know if they still are. They were a partner of Teladoc and in Touch Health beforehand. So we worked with them pretty closely about working on the Iris project, which was like
yeah.
3D augmented reality surgery. It was
One
a
of the in touch founders was the guy from the Da Vinci machine, right? The one that did surgery.
he has a backstory. He had started a competing company with Intuitive Surgical. They got into a legal battle over patents and stuff. And then they in the law, I think if my memory serves me correctly, he lost the legal battle against Intuitive Surgical, and then they decided to merge instead.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was called Computer Motion, and then they became a part of Intuitive Surgical. So he now that same founder has gone off and he's starting a company to do remote surgery, which I'm like, why do you need remote surgery if you're gonna have AI do the surgery? So if you can maybe use it as a backup thing, like the AI failed and now you're doing a backup remote
Right.
surgery
Yeah.
from somewhere else. Sure, but it wouldn't be like the main thing they're doing. AI surgery would be the way to go. Um, Now, would you
Yeah, but
trust
I
AI?
bet there's going to be people that don't trust an AI to.
Yeah, and things should be priced accordingly. If you want the AI surgery, it should be like,
It's like
super
different
cheap.
tiers.
Yeah, yeah. AI tier, which has like the least amount
The
of,
human tier,
yeah,
AI
a
tier.
human tier, like an expert comes in and chops you up. Um, but that the human tier, you got to pay for the human, right?
Right.
You should have to pay for the fact that you don't trust the AI and you want to have a human do it to you. So it should cost you extra, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to pay the wage of the surgeon. Um, yeah, I for one am all for our AI overlords to come in and fix things
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. Me too.
So let's see other stuff that's going on.
Taiwan
There's
is on the trending topics.
what is
Taiwan. It says Secretary of State Anthony Blinken gives China the green light to invade Taiwan.
who, who China has a green light to invade Taiwan
Yeah, from you guys, from the US.
from the US.
Yeah,
Oh, so I guess Taiwan pissed off America, and America's like, all right, China, go
probably.
and
Yeah,
go. They're no longer under our wing. You can go and mess them up. That's pretty bad because Taiwan is known for their chips, right? A lot of chips come from Taiwan, so that's just gonna be like, oh, we gotta now rate, increase prices for everything now because there's not enough chips to go around because the manufacturers of Taiwan are being invaded. So more reasons for things to go up in cost. Great. Uh, the UK is facing economic crisis as inflation continues to rise, leading to increase in mortgage rates and fear of a housing market crash. The Bank of England is expected to raise interest rates for the 13th consecutive time. So, like the the Fed in the United States didn't raise rates this last time, although they should, because inflation's still not at the 2-3% mark that they want to get it at, which is supposed to also make it so people don't borrow to buy houses, and so the price of houses will also come down, right? So people with cash can buy houses straight up. Um, I don't think that's really happening here in Santa Barbara as much, but other parts of the country, higher interest rates will lead to less people buying, right? And you can imagine that companies that have a lot of cash on hand, they probably could just start swooping up cheap real estate once the price does drop. Which I also suspect something's happening like that in San Francisco, right? San Francisco, a lot of people complain about the homeless situation. Like there's a lot of people drugged out, walking around. So they'll drive that. They could do something. They could pretty much, some rich areas in the Bay Area, they don't allow homeless people at all. Like you just can't
Right.
hang around there. They'll ship you out. They can do the same thing in San Francisco.
Do you guys allow like foreign people to buy lands? Because
Yeah.
here, for example, here like most of the
And,
south of the country is owned
uh,
by foreigners. Yeah.
yeah, I think there was talk about laws to prevent that, but right now, if China or whoever has money wants to come in and buy real estate here, we don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that. All right, we have Ralph jumping in. Hey, Ralph.
Fair enough.
Hey,
So we're
what's
we're
up, bro?
talking about foreign interest in buying real estate, like China coming in and buying real estate, because
Ooh,
if we keep raising interest rates, eventually the house market should come down. Maybe not collapse, maybe it will collapse, but the prices should come down. And so a foreign company or foreign entity can come in
Billionaire.
and start
Yeah.
buying stuff if they want to.
yeah. I
Uh,
know.
so go ahead.
Yeah, it just reminds me of a bunch of things, like when things happen, like pandemic and stocks go low. Like uh, those who s- those who have the mind to, they control the market by scooping everything up when it's on sale, basically. Like,
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's what's happening in San Francisco. It's like they are letting the homeless just run amok, being drugged out everywhere. I think you could probably arrest people if you see them really high off their ass on the streets, right? If they're drugged out. If anything, you take all the drugged out ones, put them in a bus, and you ship them to a camp, like a drunk tank, right?
yeah,
So you could just imprison them for being publicly high in a public setting, right? Which is probably not the humane thing to do. The humane thing to do would be treat them, get over the meth or whatever drug, fentanyl, whatever they're doing, addiction. But if you just let that keep happening, you will lower the real estate values of San Francisco, and the major real estate owners, like Google is one of them. Google owns a lot of real estate in San Francisco, and it's just like I'm just wondering what are these big companies doing that are just letting the value of their properties plummet.
yeah. That's crazy. You think you living on the West Coast, you see any incentive for that other than dropping? So if these homes drop, who do you think would be the ones to buy it? Like, who do you think wants to rent it?
Corporations, probably. I would say corporations.
Yeah. So I remember one time we talked about foreign interests, and Africa came up, and
Mhm.
so China has a big influence in Africa, but not in. It's weird because not in the government at all, but they're the single most. They're the entity that owns the most land in Africa,
Mhm.
and
They built out a lot of infrastructure in Africa. They
yeah,
are
yeah,
being influenced through economics.
exactly. So they're pretty much controlling the market there, uh, and that takes you down a whole nother rabbit hole, like the whole Afghanistan thing. There's like a trade line straight through Afghanistan to get to Africa and all that. But uh, that is very interesting to hear though about San Francisco, because if you if you hear about the laws of the homeless, do you does it seem like it's very laxed, or is it strict and just not being enforced?
It's, I mean, they've decriminalized a lot of things,
Yeah.
right? So I think if you steal less than a certain number, a pretty high number, it's like less than 1,000 or less. But if you stay within that range of stealing, it's like a misdemeanor, so you can do it again or whatever. But I think it's cumulative. So if you went and got caught for $250 and got caught for $250, and the next time around, like you'd be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this again because it's going to tally me up and get me a felony. I think it accumulates. But even the stores, right? They're told the employees don't fight back, just let them take it. And then those same companies are like, well, we're having a lot of people steal our shit, so we're gonna raise rates, we're gonna raise prices to battle the fact that we're losing some money over here on people stealing. Which they could just hire private security, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I go to certain stores, they have private security to prevent that. So is it
Man.
just cheaper to take the loss and not hire private security? Private security guard's not that expensive, $15 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it looks like 0.6% of all population in San Francisco is unsheltered homeless. That's like
Mhm.
almost 1% of the population.
Yeah.
LA
So
LA too though. But
I had some friends visit, and they were saying, it's nice, going by the beach and not seeing like a encampment, right?
man,
So,
yeah.
and then people are
Wow.
drugged out of their minds. So, isn't it illegal for you to be drugged out of your mind in a public setting? Like you can go get high at your house, but the homeless like, this is my house. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm drugged out of my house, which is a street. I don't know. I don't think we should be allowing people to be doing drugs, and then people get really scared. Like they walk the streets, and some of these people are so drugged out of their minds, they give you bad vibes, and they give you a sense of danger, right?
Ooh, yeah. I was at a gas station near me, and I was talking to somebody, and a girl, she seemed high. She was high on something, and she just comes and interrupts the conversation to like stare at us and cuss us out. And so I just was like politely said, "Excuse me, we're talking, right?"
Mhm.
And she just went ballistic, and like she backed up. She wasn't a threat, but it's like it makes you not want to go to that business anymore, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that same thing, but like the entire
Town.
city, the whole town, you're just like, man, fuck this place.
Wow.
Want to move out of here. I'm not going to buy a house here. I don't want to raise my family here. But imagine if you have kids, like, sorry, kids, you can never go outside because it's too dangerous. Like there's someone on drugs can do things that are, unpredictable.
So it reminds me of Bronx fires, like to bring the property value down, because a politician or some investor and a politician were working on developing in Bronx, New York.
Mm,
They would just run down properties or burn down properties they didn't care about,
mhm.
and the people, and it would bring the value of the area down. And they were just, it was illegal fires, and it was just set up by politicians and investors to come in and scoop the land and redevelop it.
Yeah, they do
So,
the same here.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, a lot of fires. Really
so let
sad.
me tell you who owns most the real estate in San Francisco. And Bard says, I can't help you with that. I'm only a language model. Just kidding. Half the time it does that.
Yeah.
So Veritas Investments, they own 2,800 rental units in San Francisco. And the CEO, Yat Peng Eu, is also the largest individual property owner in San Francisco. So
Chinese
why
guy.
shouldn't this guy be really pissed off? Like his property value, his investments is going the shitter. Um, remember we were talking about that video where how the small 10,000 or so people control the large masses, but they will like do favors for each other and be like, hey, yo, can you take like a 2-3 year hit where your property value goes to shit? We're just gonna let the homeless run crazy with drugs, and we're gonna fund it too, because how are they getting the money for those drugs? You think people in San Francisco are handing out $10-$20 bills to these homeless people that are drugged out? No, they're getting SSI, they're getting government checks that go towards drugs, right? So, the Gray Star Real Estate Partners, 1,800 rental units in San Francisco. Company is the largest property manager in the United States and significant presence in the Bay Area. Stanford University, 1,600 rentals in San Francisco. The university's real estate, well, I guess it's like, we're talking about downtown San Francisco versus like, the suburb area. California Public Employees Retirement System owns 1,500 rental units in San Francisco. University of California, San Francisco owns 1,400 rental units. So these people, these entities have, there's Boston Properties, 1,300 rental units, Wells Fargo, 1,200 rental units, TPG Capital, 1,100 rental units, Starwood Capital, 1,000 units, Blackstone Group, 900 rentals. So they own a significant chunk of San Francisco. You would think they would just be going crazy, right? You need to fucking fix this problem, or we're gonna fix it for you, right? Like we will bust these people out, we'll like fix up this area. But I don't really hear them voicing much about how to fix the problem. Like they're okay with the property values going to shit.
Yeah. If they're okay with it, that man, it's like who are they gonna sell to, or who are they gonna rent to?
Maybe they're looking to just buy more, right? Like we'll squeeze
Yeah.
out. We have enough money. We can sit on this. We'll squeeze out the individuals that are like, I gotta move out of here. This place is just too bad. And they start scooping it up, and then they'll be like, all right, now we're gonna fix the problem.
Yeah, if you control it, if you control the if you control the market, there's so many possibilities, like because it's buy low, sell high, Hey, we're on sale because of the
They're
homeless
like, hey,
population.
we'll sit on it. We have no need to sell right now. There's all these other groups that own commercial real estate, which is, I don't think the homeless are very much in like areas that are. I haven't been to San Francisco in a while, but it's mostly like downtown by the beach, that sort of thing. Real estate that is commercial. So Vornado Reality Trust, they own 10 million square feet of commercial space in San Francisco. So that's 10 million, like, multiple levels, right? A lot of space. Heinz Interest LP, 8 million square feet of space. Hudson Pacific Properties, 7 million square feet of space. And then there's Paramount Group, 5 million. So, and there's a bunch of other people that own a lot. And I checked before, and Google owns a lot of space there as well. So maybe they defested because it's not showing up in Bard, or they told Bard, don't put our name.
Yeah.
So these folks have like a lot of interest. When you own millions of squares of commercial real estate, square feet of commercial real estate, you would think that you would be like gung ho about like cleaning up the city. But maybe they're all in cahoots and they're saying, we're gonna purposely drive down the value, we'll then scoop up more millions of square feet of real estate, and then we'll fix the problem.
Yeah. Because out here, when a neighborhood is about to, when they want to start investing in a neighborhood, that's when they go through and sweep all the crime. Yeah. So, and they is like whoever the investors, they get with the politicians.
So what are the police doing in San Francisco?
I assume they're being told to chill back, sit back, and let it happen.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're good folks and they want to help the situation, but they're like, No, you can't touch these homeless folks. You gotta let them drug out. You can show up with an ambulance to pick up the dead bodies, but otherwise, don't bother.
That's insane.
Let me see if I find a video.
Yeah, the thing is, how do they get the drugs so easy? It's like,
Right. It has to be right around the corner from where they're at.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess it's not hard to find a dealer, but where are they getting the money, right? And it's like it's government funded homeless people.
Well, but the government should do something to fight like the drug dealers.
I was
Or
saying that they're in cahoots also. It's the government, the corporations, the police department. It's like all into cahoots to bring the price of San Francisco down.
And y'all are right, because these people are getting SSI, they're getting checks, disability checks or whatever. They're getting money from the government, like a couple thousand a month, and they don't go get a home. They spend it on drugs. It's like,
or food. There's like they all look emancipated also, right? Like they look like they need some food.
Yeah.
So let me share a video here.
You know, a few weeks ago, a street in the Mission was a maze of tents and sidewalk vendors. Even a mother with her stroller couldn't even get through. So neighbors, well, they took action. They raised thousands of dollars on their own. And just weeks later, it took a dramatic turn. Look at this difference for sure. But can they do that? We will send our Betty U to find out.
A San Francisco mother who lives nearby decided to record what a typical walk with her baby is like on Harrison between 18th and 19th. On this day, she was headed to a community meeting to address neighborhood concerns. The sidewalk appeared impassable, so she pushed her stroller into the bike lane to get around. She said at one point, the person from the encampment became upset at her filming and threw alcohol on her.
These were some bad news, tough characters. There were police were called down here every week, if not multiple times a week. There were stabbings.
Longtime resident David Dempsey took a walk on the same sidewalk Monday for the first time in years after a neighborhood group raised more than $20,000 online to install planters along several blocks of Harrison. He said particularly at night, the sidewalk turned into an illegal bicycle chop shop, or worse.
It's unfortunate that as a city, with our $14 billion budget, that the city can't manage sidewalks properly, but everybody in the neighborhood is thrilled. There's not a single, again, I've lived here 25 years. I know everybody in the neighborhood. Nobody has a problem with this.
In fact, San Francisco Public Works said it supports neighbors' efforts to green and beautify their communities. We have specific director's orders that sets guidelines for planter boxes on the sidewalk. Our main concern is to ensure that an accessible path of travel is maintained and that the planters are well maintained. The planters on Harrison appear to meet the standards.
Sidewalks need to be for our children to play in. Our family, accessible for people in wheelchairs.
Longtime residents Francesca Pastine and Lucy Junis from the Intermission Neighborhood Association advised the Harrison Street Group on their project. The two helped place 150 wine barrel planters, including these, around the Mission to make the sidewalks more inviting.
This was a particularly bad encampment. I was afraid to get near it. When they just put the planters in, they didn't even have all the dirt in. I walked down.
So they're really focused about the plants that they added, but what happened to the homeless people? They just beat their ass and like
did the planters have like?
Here's the thing: the plants don't fight homeless, right? Like the plants don't emit some smell that's going to keep the homeless away.
Yeah,
so what are they doing to be like, you can't do a camp here anymore?
Did they just put those planters on a sidewalk that wasn't occupied yet?
No, this is they cleared that street and they put so they paid $20,000 to someone to come in there, sweep it out, put the planters. The planters like whatever. Okay, you added plants, cool. But how are you solving the homeless problem? What's stopping the homeless from coming back and setting up camps again? The same thing happened in my neighborhood in Granada Hills, where they had tents laid out for the whole block. Just it was pretty sad. Like so many people that are homeless. But they came in there and they swept them all away. We got someone from Flipper Wilson from Monterey Bay, which rhymes.
What's up, Flipper?
I think
So
there's a name for like these things that's like hostile architecture. That's like
yeah,
architecture to prevent like homeless
benches.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
benches that have like ridges, right? So
yeah.
even if I want to lay down, I'm like, oh, I can't lay down because it's gonna ache my back. So what do you think they're doing to prevent the homeless from coming back? So this is someone just walking around with
Man,
a bat.
I think they come back. I think that
Yeah. This
I
is a
think they
temporary solution.
yeah. I think they get like private security to police the area.
So I went down to my brother's getting married at the beginning of next month. So I went down to the Fashion District in LA, and there they have private police they're funded by like grants from the government, and then also all the local business owners pay a little bit of tax. They could do that in San Francisco, right? Have their own private, they called it SAFE, SAFE, just parole the neighborhood to make sure that people aren't being violent. Because someone got rolled up because some guy was swinging his what was he swinging? He was swinging like a scooter at people. So then these guys rolled up real quick, right? And then they made sure that everybody got dispersed. So they can do that in San Francisco. Does San Francisco have its own private police force? Let's see here. What do we call private security? Let's see here. San Francisco Patrol Special Police. It's a network of independent firms that provide security services to business individuals in San Francisco. The police are not affiliated with the police department. They are licensed by the city to have the same powers as police officers. Patrol Special Police were founded in 1850 as the oldest private security force in the U.S. They have 1,000 officers and are responsible for providing security for a variety of locations, businesses, hotels, and schools. But do they have can they clear out encampments?
Yeah, that's a good question.
No, they can't. So let's see. They can help to clean up encampments, but so they can remove trash, debris, and help connect with people with living encampment with services. So they cannot harass, intimidate, or threaten people living in encampments.
Oh, wow. So how did they get them out of there? Wow. It's like some group of people. Like
Let's see. Can I ask why Trump hates does Trump hate the X-Men?
he said he doesn't like mutants.
He doesn't like mutants.
I
Let's
don't know
fact
what
check that.
Yeah, let's.
Does Trump hate encampment or the X-Men?
And those were some pretty cool wine barrel planters. So I put a link to purchase wine barrel planters in the comments.
Nice. Let's see here. There is no evidence that Donald Trump hates the X-Men. In fact, he has never publicly commented on the X-Men, either positively or negatively. So, nah, man.
We won't be able
Trump's
to
made statements in the past suggest he might have prejudice against people who are different. For example, he called for a ban on Muslims entering the U.S. and said that Mexico is sending rapists and criminals to the U.S. So maybe he would hate the X-Men, but he hasn't said anything about them explicitly.
He's
Misfits,
threatening.
so yeah. So he doesn't like misfits. Let's see here. Ultimately, whether or not Trump hates the X-Men is a matter of speculation. There's no evidence to support either side. Do you think he's ever seen an X-Men movie, though?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Let's ask.
I think he has. I think he enjoys them. Yeah, he said Misfits too, like Rudolph and Hermie. Flipper said that.
There's no public record of him ever seeing an X-Men movie. Anyhow, in 2017, Patrick Stewart played Professor X in the X-Men movies. Asked if he ever met Trump, Stewart said that he had never met Trump, and that he heard from Trump that he was a fan of X-Men movies. Okay, so Patrick Stewart says that Trump's a fan of X-Men movies.
Maybe the mutants thing threw somebody off. Oh, he says Misfits too, like Rudolph and Hermie, the Christmas, the elf and the reindeer. So
early Christmas reference. All right, anything else? Oh, did you want to do your stand-up, Ralph?
Oh yeah. So I started working on, so I'm gonna do 2 things for the next feeding for the homeless kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be a pastry, all organic. I got ingredients for all organic mini cupcakes. And if I can take over a kitchen at like a youth home for kids,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to prepare a meal. That will probably be the all organic Big Macs. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm reaching out to some people. So I'm not gonna wait too much on people for that. So I'm gonna just take initiative and get that done this week, regardless of whatever. And post some more today. Post some more to TikTok. I think we can get like 10 a day this week. 10 followers a day this week. So
Nice. Yeah. The last video about the 10,000 controlling the 8 billion people, that hit a nerve with a good amount of people. Got a good amount of engagement on that one.
Yeah. It's pretty dope.
Yeah,
but that's
so
about it right now.
I've adopted a local homeless man here in Santa Barbara. We'll call him John Doe. I asked him if he wanted to get recorded, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good." And I was like, "Okay, it's understandable." I mean, you're at your like low point in your life. You're living on the street. I mean, he lives at a gas station.
He
So
don't want it.
this is an interesting story. So I rolled up in my car to give him a meal. He was laid out, and his pants were ripped, so his balls are just hanging out. And I was like, this is just not.
Rob was like, "Oh, he's homeless." I mean,
he's a next level. Doesn't care if his balls are hanging out. Homeless.
No
But I'm
shame.
giving him organic meals. The hope is that if he eats well and it's not poisoning himself through conventional food, that maybe his brain will get fixed, right? So there's some dysfunction being caused by you're not getting the right nutrients, you're poisoning yourself with preservatives, you're hurting yourself with the herbicides and the pesticides. So I'm not feeding him 3 meals a day, but I'm giving him lunch every day, a decent sized lunch. So the hope is, if he at least 1 meal is nutritious and helps him, and as the benefit, I'll speculate that you get benefits from fasting. Your body has time to recover from the food that you've been poisoning yourself with. Let's say you just gave yourself a nutritious meal that didn't have poison in it. Your body didn't need to recover, right? So it's maybe there's something where if you're eating really well, that you get benefits that are like fasting, maybe not as much as fasting, but like fasting. But at least you're not going negative, right? Every meal you're going negative and your body's trying to get back to positive. So the hope is, at least 1 meal. Maybe I'll start doing multiple meals a day for the guy.
Yeah, man. Like just to add to that, like I think you're right, man. So you get the nutritious meal, you're getting nutrients. The organic food has more nutrients, but also since he's getting the calories, not fasting, he's getting the calories, he won't crave like trash, He won't be craving to get it. Yeah.
I gave him I gave him a container with the food, and I was like, "Hey, don't throw this away. We're gonna swap it out with the other one, right?" So every time I come, we swap out containers. Then went to give him the food yesterday. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I threw it away," and I was like,
He ate it.
Explicit instructions, and then he went and he dug through the garbage looking for it, and he couldn't find it. So,
Oh man.
but yesterday he was wearing new clothes. He had like a Where's Waldo T-shirt, which is like a red and white striped one, and like pants that were very tight. So
He's like, well, I got a new friend. Let me look a little better. His feet.
yeah.
Like,
So I'll keep feeding him. There won't be any. The only pictures that I'll share are like the pictures of the food that we're creating, just to respect his privacy. He didn't even want to be blurred with his face blurred or his voice changed or anything like that. So
yeah, he don't want his exes to see him. He's like, I told him I told him I was gonna do way better.
I'll go on Hollywood. I'll be in movies.
Yeah. He does not want his exes to see him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You don't want to, no one wants to have like recorded footage of you at your lowest point in your life.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Sucks, right? But the kids don't know any better, but we still blur their face.
Right.
All right. Anything else before we jump off?
No, not at the moment.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to like,
Follow the journey.
and follow the journey. Thank
Right
you.
there. Bye bye.